That's why God said, serve me or die. I said, Lord, I will serve you. I don't know how did I get from the middle of 695 onto the shoulder of the road, and I came and I slid over, and I almost parked the car right on the side of the road. Now, I still went to that party. I got my car towed, my buddy came and picked me up, but I was shook, y'all. Everybody, hey, time, I was shook. Everybody, I was shook. And it was on Saturday night. You know my behind was in church next day. Now I still went to the club and I said, God, I can't do this all. I couldn't go cold turkey. But God, I knew God had a plan for me. I knew it, but I didn't want it. I didn't want to do that because you know what? I saw some phony folk in church. I saw some folk that act like they were all holy and thou, and they get out in the parking lot and talk about people and mean to people, and you had to dress a certain way. You had to look a certain way. And I couldn't look like that. I wasn't skinny. I wasn't all proper. And all the guys that the girls got in the church, they was all thin. And they had everything lined up. They wore all the nice suits and, and some of them talked with an S. I didn't know where they were, whatever. And the pastor really loved them. And we got this young man and God is using them and they get up and, so, and they praise them. And me, I'm getting up there like I'm ready to fight somebody. I didn't fit that mold. So I said, God, you can't use God like me because I know I just had a big booty contest. And God said, I want you. And God did not judge me on the content. He judged me on my desire. Saul was murdering Christians, and Jesus came and got him. And said, Saul, Saul, why art thou persecuting me? He said, who art thou, Lord? He said, I am the Lord thy God. It's hard to kick against the bricks. It's hard to kick against me. That's all he said. Don't fight me. You're fighting the wrong guy. Fight for me. But Jesus came enough down and made him a disciple. Because it wasn't what he was doing, it was his heart that mattered. That he was sticking to the plan. And sometimes God will prepare you, and even though you are not doing right, God is preparing you anyway to get you ready. God prepared me in the club to get me ready for the church. Because I knew how people act in the club. Guess what? I know how folk act in the church. And my passion didn't change. God just took the passion for a club owner and made it to run a church. He changed my direction, but he didn't change my passion. That's why I'm still doing it, because I threw parties and nobody showed up. I threw events and a lot of people ain't show up. So I was used to disappointment. But I was still doing it. I still made money. I still had it. And it still was gaining traction until we grew and blew up. As soon as I blew up, and I was almost looking for a space to start a club, and I was getting it like that. I was looking for a place to open up a club. Talking about getting a liquor license. I was jumping. Back in the day, I'm going to be a club owner. And I was really saving up my money for opening up a club. Now I knew my mother didn't like it, so I had to prepare to move out. Because my mother was one of those old church mothers, and she would have condemned me to hell. I knew I was a black sheep. I couldn't come to my mother and saying, God called. And she always said, God got you preaching. And God said, I heard you preaching. And I always read the Bible. I always did but I liked the Bible and I read the Bible, but I just didn't want nothing to do with that God that I saw, that I was raised up with. And God had to teach me that wasn't my plan. So now, God changed my plan. And look, wow, look where we at. But this was his plans. Now, do I regret his plans? At first I did. Couldn't stand his plans. Didn't like his plans. But you know what? I love his plans now because it make me get up in the morning. It make me want to fight. Right now I am so excited about living. One thing about me, I hate being bored. I hate being bored. If I'm sitting home, I'm playing a video game, I gotta be doing something. The only reason I'm in the bed unless I'm asleep, sick, or having the other thing. So I ain't married, I ain't having the other thing. And I feel healthy. So that's the only reason I'm in the bed. Those three things. I'm in the bed for. People say, well, Pastor, why you say that? That's just me. If I ain't sick, I ain't sleep, or I ain't having sex, let's make it plain, I ain't in the bed. Because I got to be doing something. I got to be productive because God put that in me to make, he has plans for me. In order to make the plans, make these plans, I got to be productive. I tell people, be productive every day. Work on your plan. What is your plan? And ask God your plan. The God worked 6 days a week and he rested on one. We use this day as a Sabbath. If you ain't doing nothing Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and you laid around the house, you sinning. You ain't productive. What are you working? What is good or bad? What are you working towards? What is your goal? Whether you're a businessman or a drug dealer, what is your goal? Why are you doing it? What's your end game? What is your plan? Because people are doing stuff without a plan. People living right today and not tomorrow. Wait, we don't know what tomorrow. God never tell you. God said, don't worry about tomorrow. He never told you not to make plans for tomorrow. Because your past will set up your future. And I ask young people, what do you want to do with yourself? Well, I just live. I just live. When you just live, that means you're just going to die. Because you ain't got a plan. Because you got to have a plan to live. Amen. Follow the plan. Follow the diagram that God set for you. Now, I don't know what I'm going to do, Pastor. What you good at? What you good at? Well, I like to draw. Let's spirit that. I like to build. Blah, blah, blah. You know why I knew my plan? I like to work with my hands. That's why I could do all that. And you know what? I took working with my hands and I grew it. I fertilized it. I worked with it. I was scared to do certain things new, but then I started testing stuff out. Now, because I do things, now I become an expert at it. Do you got a degree? No. Do you went to college? No. I just knew I took my hands, and whatever the Bible said, whatever your hands find to do, God will bless it. That's the plan. That's your goal. And you got to be consistent with the goal. And let me say something. God don't need your permission to change your plans. God's sovereign. What do you mean? God will change your plans right in the middle. God switched up on me real quick, lickety-split. God, I wish God would have came down to me and said, He did. He did. Because he was a friend. He did ask me casually, and I didn't believe him. I thought he was just. But a lot of times God didn't tell me.
For upcoming events, announcements, information, and donation, visit us at www.gpwm.org. Find us on Facebook.
gpw.org.
Faith, fellowship, funding, transforming the community, a community outreach. If you're ever in the Baltimore and Arundel County area, please visit us at the Storehouse, 7409A, Baltimore Annapolis Boulevard in Glen Burnie, Maryland. Also, you can reach us on the web at www.gpwm.org. Thanks again for watching.